Hello, welcome to my channel where I share my thoughts based on faith, motherhood, parenting, and relationship. My name is Gloria. Thank you so much for stopping by to see this video. And if you are a returning subscriber, honestly, I am very grateful. Thank you for coming back again. Please do not hesitate if you have not already subscribed to my channel. Please do not hesitate. Go ahead, subscribe, become a part of this growing community of mine. I'm trying so hard to make it as interactive as possible, where we can all come together as a community of same people with same with like minds, right? Where we can come together, share thoughts, share ideas, and how to make our lives get better, basically. Without so much ado, I'm just going to dive into today's topic, which is courtship, and then also talking about things that people should do when they are courting, right? So that their courtship will translate into a better marital relationship in the future. So courtship basically is that period or that time where a man and a woman who are in a relationship are more intentional, they can now see clearly, are more determined to take their relationship to the next level. First of all, I would like to establish that the courtship I'm talking about here is actually the idea of Christian courtship. Now, this is to debunk some of the notions I have come to realize that some people are of the opinion that courtship is a sin, relationship is a sin, and it's unchristian, and it's unacceptable to date someone because you're likely to divulge into sin, and yeah, as such, it's just okay to see someone, tell them your intention of wanting to get married to them, and then eventually you both get married. Okay, so for me, there's something called Christian courtship, where you can actually get to know the person you're dealing with, right? You can't just see somebody. For me, I think that this has happened a long time ago in history, where people just, now our parents' generations, right, where they just see somebody and, you know, say their intentions, and the next thing they get married, even though sometimes these people may not really be in love with each other, but the people around will have a way of convincing either of the partners and telling them that it's okay, you can eventually begin to love this person when you get married, right? But now times have changed. I believe that, personally, I believe that there can actually be godly kingdom courtships that will translate into kingdom marriages in the future. Okay, so I'm going to come to that. So that's what I want to establish before I begin to talk about the things that people should know, young people should know, or people who are in a courting relationship should know before they say the I do, okay, or before they take their relationship to the very next big level. Now, the first on my list is you have to be a couple of prayer. You have to be partners in prayer. Prayer, I'm very big on prayer. If you know me well, you know I'm very big on prayers, right? Now, there is nothing that prayer cannot do. And then in a time like this, where you are in a Christian godly relationship, prayer is almost inevitable. You need to pray, commit your relationship into the hands of God, because I tell you something, the devil begins to actually play a fast one from the stage of the relationship. Because if you are able to get it right from the relationship, and you get it right in marriage, and you bring forth godly seeds, then you know that you are expanding and propagating the kingdom. Okay, but the devil will try so hard to stop that from happening level. So you have to commit that relationship into the hands of God and pray fervently, pray together as one. I remember when I was courting my husband, right? Now, there was this very admirable thing we would always do, and even those around us, they were really literally inspired by that we were doing together. We would pray, you know, every morning and before we go to bed at night. And this is what that does. It actually has a way of bonding the both partners together, because you can't be in a place of prayer and then be carried away by selfish interests or allow the flesh to override you. You're more sensible, you're more logical, you're more understanding, you're more, you know, tactical in the things that you do. You can't be in a place of prayer and have arguments and allow your emotions to override you. You are going to see yourself handling arguments and handling issues in the most sensible and logical way ever. That is what prayer does. It honestly bonds the both partners together, and you would discover that against every other factors, right? You will just talk to each other and you're just making good progress. So another thing you should know is communication. Communication is a very significant ingredient that you cannot do without while you are in a courting relationship. And communication for me is very deep, is very wide, and it's all encompassing. Okay, so communication involves listening as well. All right, so if you are communicating, then you should be able to train yourself to talk more. Okay, it begins with talking about everything and anything. Okay, so you could even start with talking about how your day went, the things around you. Have conversations from the littlest things to the most significant things. But it has to come with training. It has to come with you developing yourself and getting to that point where you can talk about anything. Because the truth is, if you're not able to talk about little things, then how would you be able to communicate and express yourself when you have bigger issues, right? So communication is very important, and it goes beyond temperament. Some people are naturally not good talkers. They don't enjoy talking so much, and you could have a partner who is just like that, not because they have any bad intentions, or not because they are malicious, but it's just simply because of the fact that they don't enjoy talking and talking and talking. Some are sanguines. They are good communicators. They can express themselves and get along, and just they are fun people. They use their words a lot. But some others are not like that. So if you have a partner who is not like that, yes, it's a place of understanding. However, that partner also has the responsibility to nurture themselves and train themselves to acquire the skills of being able to have conversations, interesting conversations. A talker, people outside know you not to be a talker based on your temperament, but when you come home, you are an entirely different person because you are with that one person you really, really love. So you have to train yourself, as opposed to just being okay in your comfort zone and telling yourself, oh, you know what, I'm not just a good talker, I don't enjoy talking too much, so there's nothing I can do about it. There's really something you can do about it. You need to begin to train yourself to get to that point where you can actually communicate, talk about anything and everything, so that when it comes to more serious issues, you don't have problems. Okay, you don't struggle. Because the truth is, if you don't begin to train yourself to be good communicators and to talk the most often while you are dating, it's going to really make you struggle in marriage, because there will be a lot of confusion, there'll be a lot of misunderstanding because you haven't really communicated. You need to get to that point where you can just look at your partner and they literally understand you and know what you want them to do at that point in time. Okay, now communication is all encompassing, like I said. So it's a time where you need to talk about anything and literally everything. Now also talk about finances. Talk about your dreams and aspirations, and ensure that your purpose in life align. Okay, so talking about finances is a different ball game, entirely. Right now, this is where a lot of people get it wrong, because they're not able to address these issues at the time when they should have really addressed these issues. Some people get into marriages and finances becomes a big problem, which shouldn't be if they had trashed it out earlier. Now, some people are of the opinion, some ladies are of the opinion that my money as a lady is my money and the man's money is our money. Okay, now as the man, is that the kind of home you want to build? Are you okay with that? Yes, I understand that men are supposed to be the breadwinners and supposed to look after their family and be the providers, right? But do you still have a place of, let's do this together? Let the woman be willing to bring her resources to the table so that we can plan big and plan for the future of our family and our children. Are you the kind of man that thinks that way? If you are the kind of man that thinks that, the man and the woman should come together, bring their resources together and plan to have a better future as a family, and the woman is not of that opinion, you are going to struggle because you're not on the same page, right? So finances is what you should really talk about. How do we spend our money? How do we save our money? How do we invest? What are the things we should do? Who does this and who does that? Okay, based on your income. So it's a very key aspect of courtship relationship that must be addressed before going into marriage. It is not when you eventually get married and then the man says, oh, you go buy foodstuffs or you take care of the kitchen needs, and then I'm like, you should be the one to do everything, and then you begin to struggle and there begins to be marital problem or crisis, right? Now, ask the right questions. Courtship is that time where you ask the right questions, and that's part of communication. You should be able to ask your partner things about their background, things about their family affiliations, their culture, their faith. Yes, you could practice the same faith, but you don't have the same ideologies, you don't have the same beliefs, you don't believe in the same doctrines. So these are the things that you should talk about when you are courting. Ask questions about your partner's, belief systems, their dreams, where they want to be in, their purpose in life. Your purpose needs to really align for you to make great couples and for you to have a smooth marital experience and relationship. Your goals need to align. So take, for example, the man really wants his wife to stay back at home and raise the kids and be a full-time home housewife, and the woman has the idea of wanting to work, wanting to do business, wanting to probably, contribute her quota to her society, haven't probably gone to school and developed herself intellectually, right? Now, if this man does not understand that he wants his wife to be this, if he doesn't see his wife as a career person and sees his wife as a full-time housewife, if you don't talk about it, you're going to definitely have crisis when you get married. Okay, so you need to talk about your future, your goals in life, and your purpose. Ask the right questions. Basically, yes, I understand that you're carried away by love. You really love each other, and in that moment where you're all, and you're all carried away with love. Most people at this point do not love logically, do not love with their heads but with their hearts. Yeah, it's totally understandable, and that is fine. But it's also a time where you need to take some steps back and ask the right questions. Basically, don't let love override your thinking, and then you skip the things you're supposed to know, and then you get into marriage and you begin to have problems. Okay, now so commitments is another thing that you should, commitment is another aspect of courtship relationship that is very key. Now, commitment has to do with you investing your time, investing your resources, investing your ideas, just investing your everything into the relationship, literally emptying yourself into the relationship and letting the other person know that you are for real and you mean business. So I can't be in a relationship with a man, for example, and he has promised that he's going to marry me, or he has told me he's going to marry me, and 1 year, 2 years into the relationship, I don't know his family, I don't know his best friend, I don't know his colleagues, I don't know anything about him, I don't know where he's from. Basically, that calls for another questioning. That calls for you to really, look at it again and ask yourself if this person is really out for the best of that relationship. And the other way around, you can't be dating a girl and you're way into the relationship and she's not comfortable showing you off to her family, or she's not accepting the fact that you should go meet her people or something. Then there's definitely something she's hiding, or she's not just ready and she's not committed to the relationship. Okay, so you should be with someone who is able to invest their time with you, and you can't know somebody. Don't forget that courtship is that time where you will begin you're more like a rehearsal of your marriage, right? You want to really know the person you're going to marry, or you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And how can you know this person? It's not that courtship is going to help you know the person 100%, yes, but at least you should know basic information about who this person really is. Not a total stranger, not somebody you get to marry and then you'll be like, I never knew this person, I never knew this part of you. Yes, marriage is school that you never graduate from. So you continue to know the person over and over again. As the day go by, you begin to see a new person, you begin to see a new aspect of the person, but you already have a background knowledge of who this person is or their thought pattern from the courtship. Okay, so you should be able to spend time. You can't be in a courtship relationship and you're not able to spend quality time with the person. So commitment comes with spending quality time, giving your all and emptying yourself basically into the relationship. Okay, now another thing I want to talk about that you should know when you're courting is should have Christian standards. Remember that at the beginning of this video I talked about, yes, that it is possible to have godly and kingdom courtships, right? That will translate into kingdom marriages. So if you have Christian standards and you keep to those standards and not compromise, then you will see the big hand of God at work in your relationship. And what do I mean by this? keep the bed undefiled. You should not engage in, immorality. You should not begin to sleep with each other while you're courting, because that is not the time for it. While you're in a relationship, that is not the time for it. You can only consummate your relationship the day that you have the vow sealed before the people of God and on the altar of God. So you should be able to keep the bed undefiled, and and this will help you maintain a godly relationship. So I wish you all the best. If you find this useful, please go ahead and share with your family and friends, and anyone who would find this useful, give it a like.
What can't you do? What won't you do? Nothing impossible. Nothing impossible. What can't you do? What won't you do? Nothing impossible with our God. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist. It can never ever exist. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist. It can never ever exist. According to your knowledge and your will for me, what you say you have done, I just need to align, because you are not a man that changes your mind, Those that know you will trust in you, not in horses and chariots. By the arm of flesh, no man can prevail. No man, no man, no man, no man. My confidence is you. What is hard? What is hard for you? It can never exist. Oh, you do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist. Oh, it can never ever exist. Oh, you do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It can never ever exist. Oh, those I know you will trust in you, not in horses and chariots. By the arm of flesh, no man can prevail. Ask Abraham and Sarah, I'm a woman with the issue of blood. Oh, nothing hard for you